Okay, we are recording. So, hey, everybody, how are you? Thank you so much for tuning in with us tonight. Happy Tuesday team training. If you don't know who I am, my name is Katie Harold, and I'm a Presidential Diamond here in Toledo, Ohio. And I have been with this amazing company for 7 years now. And we've been doing these amazing Tuesday team trainings since the beginning of the year. And we have one of my favorite people in the whole world on tonight. And we're going to discuss a couple of things, you guys. We're going to discuss we're going to hear her story, a little bit about her ups and downs and some of the obstacles that she's overcome. And then we're going to talk about 3 things. We're going to talk about time management. We're going to talk about longevity in this business and really thinking long term. And then we're going to give some tough love. We're going to kick some booties at the end. So I hope that's okay. So I want you guys to drop some fire in the chat if you want to hear some tough love at the end, if that's okay. If you need that, if you like that, if you're excited about that, drop some fire emojis in the chat, okay? So I am super excited to have Ashley Sinclair on, you guys, Ambassador Diamond. I'm pretty sure, Ashley, that you still have like record time for going Ambassador. Let me find you here so I can spotlight your video. Here we go. There she is, you guys. I cannot wait to hear her story. Ashley, are you ready?
I am so ready. How are you?
Yes, I am pumped for tonight, you guys. The stars aligned and we got connected for tonight, and I just know that this is exactly where God wants us tonight, and we're going to have a really awesome message for you guys. And so, Ashley, I just appreciate you taking time for us tonight.
No, of course. I'm so pumped. Do you just want me to jump in, or do you want to start with a...
Well, let's jump in. So I feel like, from my team personally, we either have the OGs or the brand new. I'm going to make sure everybody's muted. Okay, everybody's muted, so you may have to unmute yourself again. But we either have the OGs or the brand newbies, right? And so, maybe they've heard your story, maybe they haven't. So why don't you start off with telling us your story? And what I really like to hear is like some of the ups and the downs and how you overcame some of like the obstacles in your business.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've all got them. And so I love sharing. I always feel probably like you do, a little bit silly, because you tell your story so many times and you kind of say the same thing over and over. It doesn't change at all. It's the exact same info over and over. But no, I started with this business almost 9 years ago. I cannot believe it. I'm almost 9 years in the business. And you guys, a friend sent me a message on Facebook, probably like a lot of you got, and I deleted it. I honestly was like, I was so skeptical. I thought there was no way that a product like that could work, I thought she had gotten involved in a pyramid scheme. I felt really sorry for her, if I'm being honest. I remember thinking how sad that this girl that I met for a few months in junior high is in a pyramid scheme. That's so sad for her. Because at the time I owned a women's boutique. And so I was just so used to that brick and mortar, store, and that traditional kind of business where, you don't make money for 5 years, you pour your heart and soul into it, and you just pray that people walk through the door. And that to me was what the American dream was. So something like this was, I had to create a brain cell for it. But, fast forward 2 weeks, I couldn't get the product and the idea of making money from home out of my head. So I decided to message her back and say yes. And to make a very long story short, really just jumped in. And I always point back to 9 days into the business, because it's really where I feel like we all have those moments where things like shift for us. And 9 days into the business, I will never forget exactly where I was. I was nursing Audrey. Grace was in her underwear watching like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. And it was a Sunday afternoon, and I was on this old Dell laptop computer, and I was watching Pam talk about the license to print money. And I didn't know what she meant at the time, but now I understand them to be cabs. And so I just remember hearing the and then $80 for this person and 80, and then there's 80 for this. And I just started thinking like, wow, if these women up north that I kept hearing about, because I'm from Texas, these women up north can make 10 grand a month. Like, what would it look like if I made 2 grand a month? What if I paid our mortgage, our house payment, and our insurance with this company? Wouldn't that be insane? And so I remember in that moment, like just feeling like I had found it. I had found that ticket. I knew I had my hands on something special. And I looked at Dan and I said, I'm going to make this $1 million. Just watch me. And I knew from that moment, that really was when I started. The fire was lit. I started texting people. I wasn't afraid. I mean, I was afraid, but I was afraid, but with fire, you know what I mean? And I just knew that I had my hands on something special. And so a lot of people said no, but man, a lot of people said yes. And I went ambassador in 7 months, which is still kind of insane to think about. And, you know, did that. And you'd asked about obstacles. And really, I would say the thing that a lot of you probably do is the exact same thing that I did, which is I got really caught up in the management mode. Instead of sticking with what worked and knowing that my team was most inspired by action, and just hearing what I was doing and what I was saying and who I was talking to, instead of continuing to do that, I really got into management mode. And some of you guys are there. You hired, you promoted to a certain rank, and then you went into what I would call management mode and started feeling like you have to be this incredible leader for all people. And the truth is that the best leaders that I follow are people that lead by example. They're not just inspiring pie in the sky people. They're people that are living out what I'm going through. And they're navigating it with grace and with love and with excitement and passion. And so that's who I want to be for my team is, hey, here's what's working. Hey, here's what didn't work. Hey, I'm still here. Let's keep going. If I could go back and change anything, that would probably be it, Katie, is really just getting out of that, like checking my e-suite every 2 or 3 hours to see if volume updated. Like, who the crap cares? I know how to make volume update, and that's to put somebody in the computer. Like, why am I obsessed with volume? Why am I obsessed with who's enrolling whom? And like all of this stuff that really, I spent so much more time, effort, and energy into managing other people's teams and other people's businesses, as opposed to really just working on my own, which I feel like is the most inspiring thing, like I said, you can do as a leader. So that's probably the biggest obstacle, I would say, that I fell into after going ambassador.
Okay, so somebody wants to know, what color are you?
Oh, well, I think it's changed. And I don't just want to claim what Pam says, but I definitely red. I'm very, very driven. But after a really long talk with Pam, I would say since 2016, I've tried to embrace my blue. I'm definitely a good time. So I would say I'm red/blue. I think I have about -4% yellow in me. But I love spreadsheets. So there's probably like 2% green in there somewhere. I don't know. I like a good spreadsheet. Don't get me wrong. I love our charts. But really, I'm like somebody that likes to make money and have fun while I'm doing it. So red and blue.
Oh my gosh, yes. There's no denying the blue when you go to your TikTok and you're like dancing and like.
Yeah. I'm blue. I definitely have blue, but my blue is to help me make more money. So it's all good. It's all good. I love it.
So I want to jump right into time management, because I will tell you that, I was asking, my rubies and above earlier, like, tell me what you're struggling with. Tell me like what's going on, how I can help you. And I've seen across the board, and I don't know if it's the time of year or what, but everybody seems to be struggling with, they don't know how or when to fit this in, whether they have a full-time job, or they have kids. I have a lot of girls on my team that have small kids. And so just a lot, what I'm hearing right now is people are having a hard time fitting this in and managing their time. And, if you have a little bit of time, so I would love if we could dive into that.
No, and please hear me, like, you guys, I am not an expert on this by any means. And my kids are a little bit older, but when I started, Audrey was 3.5 months old and Grace was 2.5 years old. So, I mean, I had a newborn and a toddler that was just potty trained. And I think back on that first year of Audrey's life and like how much I missed out on, or I don't want to say missed out on, but like was spaced out on because I was so in my phone. I mean, my phone may as well have been like an attachment, right? I had a BlackBerry, and until I went ambassador, actually, how I went ambassador on a BlackBerry still blows my mind, with an old Dell laptop, like from, 2001. So I get it. I have been there. When I started, you guys, on top of, my kids' young age, I was teaching Sunday school. I owned my business and worked there at least 40 hours a week, if not more. I sang in a classic rock band, and I owned the Lubbock Bridal Show. So when I say I was busy, nobody gets to come and say, Ashley, you just don't understand. I'm so busy. Like, I'll give you a hug and say, girl, I get it. But I knew that I wanted more. Okay. So I knew that I was making an investment into something bigger, and making an investment into my business that was going to pay me later. And what I would tell you guys is that right now, and I just want to remind you of this really quick. Right now, the work you are doing is what's going to be paying you in 2028. Okay. Because I look back, and there is work that I did in 2011 and the beginning of 2012, and I am still getting paid on that now, today. In 2020, work I did in 2011. I have a whole cab leg that's diamond coated to me that I signed up when I was 7 weeks in the business. Right after I went diamond, I signed up this girl who signed up a girl that 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 signed up a girl that, like, keep going. Is this, everybody else is gone, and there's this one diamond leg that's in that leg that is going crazy right now, and just signed up her 4th distributor of the month. And you guys, that was work I did. That was from a party that I did in 2011 in the teacher's lounge at a high school. Okay. So know that what you're doing now, it matters. Cultivating these relationships with your team and growing your organization now, it matters. And it is what's going to pay you in 2028. So I'm telling you that to tell you that the investment of time is worth it. Now that you know that, and you have to know why the investment of time is worth it, and that, again, it's going to be paying you years to come. Now, I need you to understand that we've got to be smart about the time that we're putting into the business, right? So here's the deal. I'm going to preface this with this, and my poor team has heard this 700 times. This is what works for me. You can talk to 50 leaders. They are going to give you 50 different things that work for them. The key is starting. The key is not waiting around to find the perfect thing. It's jumping in, trying something, and then going, I'm going to kind of like tweak that a little bit, or, hey, that works for me, but I didn't like what she said about that. That doesn't really fit for my life. So I'm going to pull this and try this. Does that make sense? So I'll show you gladly what I do. Don't message me and email me or ask me to email this to you. I won't. I'm going to send it to Katie. I'm running my own 2.0 business right now, my own ambassador business. I don't have time to email everybody. That's the red coming out of me. But I will gladly send a picture of this to Katie, and you can make your own, or she can print it out for you, however you want to do it. So I tell you that with the utmost love. I told you, -4% yellow, right? Like, I'm not going to do it. It's not how I spend my time. I know how to spend my time. Okay. So and if you guys want to take a quick screenshot just to be able to see it, you can see I've got this in 6, and I'm sorry, then I pulled back, didn't I? I'm like, here, take a screenshot. And then I pulled it away. Let me show you this. So it's in 6s here, right? But this is it close up if you want to see it. This is what I use every single day. So you can see, number 1, I start out with gratitude. I have read and learned enough in my self-development that when you start out with a grateful heart, something happens with your business. And so I'm very, very firm believer in making sure that I start out with all the things that are going right in my life. And so here you can see, like in my little gratitude journal that I have, and my little devotion thing that I'll do, it's, as I've done it, I check off all 5. You guys, that's not hard for me to do. And sometimes I'll even just write it out here. Almost every single one is like coffee, okay? A warm bed. I'm simple. I'm like a toothbrush. It doesn't, sometimes I'm just like looking around my room like, oh, I have a door on my room. Like, that's, some people don't. That's amazing, right? So start with the simplest stuff. So here's gratitude. And then you'll see number 2 is encouragement. Encouragement for my team, encouragement for sidelines. I love encouragement, and I believe that what you put out in the world comes back to you. I don't just believe it, it's biblical. So I'm very big on what I want more of is what I try to put out. So I try to put out as much gratitude as possible, as much encouragement. And you can see that that's number 1 and 2. I really believe it's that important. You guys, this takes me, like, if anything, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And it's so fun. It's so fun to make someone's day by just saying, I was thinking of you today. I'm praying for you today. I hope you're doing great today. I mean, any of those things. Hey, your post yesterday was amazing. And I'm talking genuine encouragement here. And then you can see here, host to post asking, and host to post ask might be the wrong way to word it, but it's basically getting up at least 10 host a post a day. So whether that's from, like my team's giving away a Louis Vuitton this month. Last month we did the $1,200 giveaway. All throughout the, like each week we gave away money. So even if it's just posting about that once for the week and then going to all those people that commented, and then having those people host a post, I'm not talking about giveaway host a post. I'm talking about product host a post that is out there. So that's kind of my strategy, is getting 10 of those up. But you guys, look how I broke it down. I broke it down into 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, because I can't all the time sit and do 10 in a row. That doesn't always work with my schedule, right? So my goal is to at least get 2 at a time put up so that I can do check marks, because we all know that if you are red, you love check marks everywhere. You love things that are completed, right? Then of course, follow up, and this number may be different for you, but you guys, I've been doing this business a really long time. You can imagine that the number of people I have to follow up with is really, really high. And if I'm getting up 10 host a post a day, like good host a post a day, then trust me, over time, this will not be difficult to get to. And again, this is for distributor, well, my finger, this is for distributor and for product, not just, product, if that makes sense. How many people have I talked to about the business? How many people have I shared my brand rep app link with, asking people to take a look? Adding new, of course, we all know if we want to grow our social media, we've got to be adding new. And then of course, the most important, interacting, I feel like I can do so fast. I'm going to give you 2 tips. And one of them is kind of gross and I'm really sorry, but every time I'm in the bathroom, that's what I'm doing, is interacting every time. Or I'm reading one of my books, but it's one or the other. I'm either doing self-development. Y'all, like, maximize your time, as stupid as that might sound. So interacting. The other thing too is every time I take a shower, which is supposed to be 7 times a week, but sometimes it's like 4 or 5 times a week. I will turn on my stories while I'm in the shower, right? So like at different times, I'll turn on my stories and let it play for a bit. Because Facebook even likes that. Just showing that you are watching other people's stories is a good thing to do. So that's even a way to interact. And then of course, for my own, making sure that I post on my team page. And stories is written down here, but I'm going to be honest, you guys, a lot of this for me is kind of taken over with TikTok, which I'm talking about that on this summer camp thing. So I don't want to talk about TikTok tonight. But if you're not really running a TikTok or things like that, definitely utilize your stories. Okay. So that is my time management schedule. Now, there are days whenever my girls are at school in the fall. What is that, right? I don't even remember what that feels like. But there are times whenever I don't have my kiddos. Sometimes my in-laws will take my girls on Saturday for, 7, 8 hours. You guys, I will sit down and I can knock out 3 of these like that, right? Because I'm focused and I'm intentional with it. There are other days whenever I get to the end of the day and I still have almost all of this work to do. So you need to know that it's okay to let this go all throughout the day for you. That's why I did it where I've got the little numbers, because sometimes I can only do 1 and then I can do, does that make sense? So I hope that helps, but that is like my main thing that is working for me, is breaking it down like that. And I really made this for myself. My girls go to a hybrid homeschool. So I homeschool Tuesday, Thursdays. We all homeschooled for the whole last end of the year, but we homeschool Tuesday, Thursdays, with the work that their teacher gives us. And then they go to school Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So when they're at school for 8 hours on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you guys better believe that this is getting done all the time. And a lot of times on Tuesday, I try to do 2 on Mondays, because I know that Tuesday I may barely get through half of 1. Does that make sense? And that's okay. That's okay for me. I had to learn that I do not have to have my phone be an extension of my hand, that I can walk away from it for time. I tell my team all the time, whenever you're feeling anxious and you have looked up and you've checked every notification on your phone 5 times, and you're seriously now at this point, you just start scrolling because you're dying to get a notification. You guys know what I'm talking about. When you're at that point where you're like, I'm going to keep looking at my phone until a red thing pops up, right? That was a weird statement. I wanted to say something inappropriate, but I'm trying to get better about that. So anyway, I feel like a lot of us do that, and we're sitting around waiting for a little notification, right? And so what I've had to learn is to answer everything. Like, it's nice. While I'm on this Zoom, I have some notifications. You guys, my phone is down. It's off. I'm not messing with it. as soon as I get off of here, I'm going to take 5 minutes, answer all of that, and then I'm going to walk away for a little bit. I'm going to go do something that's productive. I'm going to go live my life, and that's okay. Does that make sense? It's absolutely okay. And when you're feeling that anxiousness, like people that tell me, well, I don't feel like I can put my phone down. I don't feel like, I just feel like I'm working all day, every day. I usually ask, well, talk to me about your productivity. And that's what I love about this, is that this is not busy work. This is income producing activities. And that's my question to you, is if your busyness is creating income, then it's not busyness, it's business. But if you're busy, if you're just busy and it's not creating income, girls, it's just busyness. And we have to cut that out. Because did anybody write that down? Why do I feel like that was so good? That was a good little quote. What, I hope you're recording, right? Remind me to come back to that. Your busyness, and it turns into, and then it's business. Then it's like busyness, or it's just busy. Okay, I like it. I like it. That's good. So there you go. I think I'm done with that, unless you have a question about.
No, I love that. I love that so much. So this is what I want to address now. So many people. So I'm like a person where like I like to have a schedule. If I'm like, okay, from 9 to 10 or from like 9 to 12, I'm gonna like sit on my computer and work. But then that thing happens that you just talked about, like, oh my gosh, I'm checking notifications. Am I actually being productive? And I get caught in that trap too.
Me too.
But I'm hearing a lot also, like girls are getting so stressed because they can't stick to a schedule. And one of my diamonds actually went live in our team page and talked about how your schedule is going to look different from one day to the next, especially with kids, and that's okay. And I would love for you to talk about that for a second.
Well, and I hope that that's what you guys are gathering from the way that I had to make this work, is that I'm just being 100% honest. For me, a schedule doesn't work. Every day looks a little bit different. And I'm somebody that kind of wakes up and goes, what are we going to do today? I love that. That's part of the blue, I guess, the spontaneity. I do love that. I want to have that kind of life. I don't want it to be, okay, so if you're someone that is so rigid that you have to get it done, that you feel like if you don't get this finished between the hours of 8 and 10 or whatever it might be, I don't know. You guys, I had to make this because here's what I decided to go for. I decided to go for a checklist because I could show you my stack of planners. I have bought no less than probably 15 planners. All of them, the first, maybe if I'm lucky, the first month gets filled out. I think I just like them so that I can like put stickers and like use those fun pins. And then I'm bored with it after about 4 days. I might check stuff off. Now, if you work that way, that's fine. You don't need to hear this part if you're working great and you're rigid within a schedule. I think that's awesome. That's not how God wired my brain. And when I tried to fit into that mold, I felt like I was failing constantly. So I'm talking to those people that feel like they are constantly failing because they're not like 8 to 9 is this, and 9 to 10 is this, and 10 to 11 is this. And because here's the deal. This business, there are times whenever I shut my phone off and I put it on do not disturb, right? And I will send out my messages and I will go to town on host to post and I will work on follow up because I can be a little bit squirrel all over the place, right? But then when I turn that off, when I take the do not disturb off, if y'all know what I'm saying, and I'm back to normal, and those notifications come back in, I feel so much more productive because then I'm in like reaction mode. Okay, let's react. Let's go. Okay, you asked me a question, here's the answer. You asked me a question, here's the answer. As opposed to leaving my phone on, right? And it's over here and I'm sitting here trying to send out my host to post. Oh wait, this girl wants to know what's in the collagen that makes it work. Okay, I'm going to answer host to post. Oh wait, my customer can't log in. Okay, I got to stop and help her submit a ticket. Okay, now I'm trying to do my host to post and then, oh dang, this girl needs a post idea and I've got to go create something and over. And this is how I felt like my whole day was being run, was literally just like whatever somebody sent me is what was getting done, not what I needed to get done. And so for me, the D&D, the do not disturb, is the ultimate in working your business. I don't have a schedule, but I am serious about my do not disturb. And I don't keep it on all day, obviously. I mean, I'll keep it on for 45 minutes. And you guys, in that 45 minutes, if I'm like, I'm getting 10 host to post up and then I'll turn my phone back on, then I'll get those 10 host to post up, then turn my phone back on. Does that make sense? Because doing that and being strict about that and looking at this checklist works so much better for me. You guys, I even do this with working out sometimes. I do have a trainer that comes 3 days a week, but for a while she wasn't. And what I did was I made almost the exact same thing like this. That was what I wanted to get done for the week. And it would have like 10 donkey, I kid you not, it would be like donkey kicks, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 push-ups, 10, 20, 30, 40. I'm not even kidding. Just like that. These things, bicep curls, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And then all throughout the day, that way, if I stopped and I had time to do 10 bicep curls, I would go get 10 bicep curls and then I'd move on if I needed to. So doing this allows you to be able to work a little bit in the morning. And again, I'm not saying my schedule or my stuff exactly, but your 6 list, whatever it is, I just encourage you to break it down into these increments. It's not so much this as it is this, you guys. It's this part right here that will leave you feeling, again, for those of us that don't follow a schedule well, it will leave you feeling so much more accomplished because all day I'm getting check marks all day long and I'm feeling productive. And guess what? Productivity begets more productivity. It does. When you're feeling productive, what happens? You want to be more productive, right? I do 10 push-ups and I don't go, oh, I'm so glad that's over. I go, oh, did 10 push-ups. That was fast. Let me do 10 sit-ups real quick. Oh, that wasn't that hard. Let me do my 10 donkey kicks real fast and just get those knocked out. It's the same thing in my business. Being productive and checking these things off makes me want to keep going and check more things off, if that makes any sense. I hope that
yes.
Some of y'all are nodding. I hope that's helping.
Oh my gosh. I love that you do it for working out too.
Yeah.
I love that.
My trainer's here, all bets are off. She drives me nuts because she just tells me what to do the whole time. But no, I get it knocked out and that's good. But yeah, all throughout the week, like those little extra things and my push-ups and my donkey kicks and my band workout, I mean, I'll do it just quickly. And then I feel like I'm doing do checks all day long, which feels so good to me.
Yes. Okay. So I want to lead into kind of thinking about this business long-term. Now there is something that I want to talk about during our tough love part, but that's kind of more about like really having a why that's serious, because there's going to be somebody that's going to take this and be like, but I still don't have time. But it's deeper than that. We know that. So let's talk about thinking of this business long term, because we do have some people that have been with us for a while, and then we have some people that have been with us for maybe a year, and they're maybe having a hard time thinking about it long term, or maybe saw a little bit of success in the beginning and saw this plateau. And we really have to, like, I love that you brought up the work that you did at the school the one day is paying you 8 years later. And I mean, how long have you been with the business? Was it 9 years now?
Almost, yeah. August into September will be 9 years.
9 years. So I just want to talk about like long-term thinking with this business.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I'll try and do my best. Did I cut you off?
No.
Okay. I mean, Katie, you know that you're always going to get like probably too much honesty on these. I think I told y'all that I scroll and interact while I'm pooping. So there's that. But I am probably not the person that could talk the best about longevity. Let me tell you why. Let me just explain what I mean. I was going to jump in, make my money, and be gone. I am the girl that like gets a good idea, does the good idea, feels accomplished, and then shifts. I mean, anybody that has been in my life for longer than It Works is shocked that I am still in It Works. They're shocked. And they're not shocked that I'm just like hanging around and like pulling a paycheck. Like they're shocked that I'm still in this, freaking love this, like passionate about it, working every single day. So just know that even if you are not the kind of gal, I don't know if we have guys on here. I'm sorry. I should be more inclusive. So if you're not the kind of person that really sticks with something and sees it out until the end, then know that you can still create longevity in this business. So I kind of wanted you to hear that first, because when you said, Ashley, we're going to talk about longevity, I just started laughing. I was like, I'm like the last person that thought I would be here. But let me just tell you a couple of things that have kept me here and a couple of things that keep me going. And maybe that will help and explain the longevity. Okay. Number one, every single day, I wake up and I have no clue who I'm going to meet. I have no clue who is going to be in my inbox. I have no clue what is going to happen within my business. And that excites me. That motivates me. That pumps me up. That keeps me going, because I know that at any given day, I could have a host a post go up, somebody could sign, and that person becomes my next rock star. That excites me and keeps me going. So that's one thing, okay? Which is kind of funny because, again, that's spontaneity again. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, and I like the element of that in this business. So if you're someone that kind of needs things to be a little bit different and switched up and all of that, I have found that within network marketing, my gosh, the one thing that is absolutely true is that things are going to change. Things are going to shift. They're going to be up. They're going to be down. They're going to be this way. They're going to plateau. You're going to be on a mountain. You're going to be down in a valley. Like, you guys, it is always like this, always. But here's the deal. Anything in life is that way. I have found this to be true in my marriage. I have found this to be true in my parenting. There are days that I am dying to show up. I want to show up. I want to be there. I want to be a number one mom, a number one wife. And there are days when I'm like, leave me alone, under the covers, just want to watch Netflix and eat chocolate. Don't talk to me. Don't touch me. Don't look at me, right? So the same is true in anything in life. Everything in life has got this to it. And I feel like really anything amazing in life that you stick with has got this to it. I think about my physical journey and losing weight, and like that same 15 pounds that I have gained and lost about 100 times. Okay. Gained and lost the same. I don't want to talk about COVID either. That's a whole other caveat. But you know, you guys, even that up and down and just learning discipline and learning to show up even when I don't want to. Showing up for my marriage, showing up for my kids, showing up for my business, showing up for my physical self so that I can be healthy and live life, because I love life so much and the gift that it is that God gave us. And so I think that a lot of us need to take more of the approach of realizing that it is not always going to be this steady climb like this. Okay. Maybe some people's journey does. And for a little while, you guys, it was nothing but this. And then it kind of went like this for a while. Oh, let me start back here. So it was like this, right? I mean, you go ambassador in 7 months. It was sort of like, bing. Why do I feel like I keep making erection jokes and I'm not even trying to? I'm real sorry. Again, if there's boys on here, my apologies. Hashtag, I'm sorry. Okay. But I just feel like, bing. Okay. It was like this for a long time. And then, okay, shut up. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. There's never been anything like this before. And then it was like, I don't want to say flatline, but definitely a plateau. Like definitely okay, what's happening? Why is there not the same amount of growth? Why are people not just like flocking to my business? What is happening? I had to figure out how to work outside of my warm market because my warm market was amazing. I also have to figure out a different, maybe this will help. I don't know. My finger is bothering me. It feels weird. Okay. So it's like this, and then it's just like that's a little bit better maybe. Okay. So it's just a little more like this and like a plateau. And then, man, we hit another jump again. I signed up 2 ladies that went double diamond within their first 6 months. And I was like, boom, here we go. And then it was like, and then some people left my team and it was like, oh my gosh, am I done for? Is this even going to happen? And then it was like, oh, wait a minute, we're not done yet. Okay. Everything's good. And then I had a girl that went ambassador and it was like, okay. And then my 2.0 this year finally took off, and I'm just like, okay, here we go. We're back up again. And the thing that I know to be true, you guys, is that even that's going to change. As much as I love things right now and the way that they're going, even that will shift. Things are going to shift and change in this business. And so for me, I know that to keep my passion and to keep my excitement in this business, it's to totally focus on the long-term goal. And for me, the long-term goal is building that residual income up to $50,000 a month. And here's what I mean by that. I mean, where I want my check built to $50,000 a month without one bonus, without one cab, without one anything. That is strictly just the orders that are going through on those auto ships, $50K a month. Now, when that happens, I'll have to create a new why. And that doesn't mean I'm stopping. But for me, that's like, I want that long-term insane money. I do. And not just because I want to be rich, because I already am rich, but not just because of that, but you guys, seriously, because I know that God has such big plans for the money that I know I want to make. He's already given me a heart for it and a passion for it and where I want to give it and what I want to do with it. So I don't know if any of that helps at all with longevity. But I'm sorry, I do want to say one other thing. The other thing that keeps me going in this business is knowing that, and you guys, if you have not been in this business very long, please hear me and know my heart. I have been through every season. I mean, the website crashing, the great wrap shortage of 2012, the customer service debacle of 2014. You guys, I've literally been through freaking all of it. The other website change that sucked. I have been through every single bit of it. And this company continues to blow me away with their heart, with their passion, with the way that they work and lead. I'm about to sound like I'm bragging, and I'm not. I'm really not. I'm truly telling you a story, but it's kind of a cool story, so it's going to sound like I'm bragging. But I was hanging out in Costa Rica with Mark Pentecost, and we were having breakfast, and I looked at him and said, "What keeps you going? Like, why are you still doing this? You know, you've beat cancer. You've got your kids kind of coming in and taking over now. Like, are you done? Do you feel like you're done? Like you're about to start stepping back?" And he said, he looked at me and he goes, "I am just getting started. This company is about to go on another run like we've never seen, and you're not going to want to miss it." And man, I stick around for the excitement too. I stick around for a CEO that isn't sitting around hoping that good things happen, but he's like pushing to make stuff happen. And this guy owns an island. Like he could go chill if he wanted to, right? But he doesn't. He's still hungry. He's still ready. And I love that so much. And so that's another reason why I just have that long-term vision for this company. And then the last thing I would share with you, and I am not a saint, but I truly feel like over the last several years, God has just opened up my eyes to the amount of people that really need this business, and not in that cheesy way that we say, guys, you have to share the opportunity because people need this opportunity. I don't mean it like that. I mean it in that deep down sense of the word that no, literally there are people that cannot pay their bills right now. And this is the answer for them. And so I have to share it. I have to show this opportunity. I have something that I don't just get to hold to myself and go, oh my God, look at what happened to me. Aren't I so lucky? Aren't I so great? Aren't I such a hard worker? I get to go, hey guys, look at this insane opportunity. I get to show it to you. And if you'll add the hard work, I have the simple systems. Let's put it together and make magic happen. And so God kind of opened my eyes to that realm. And I'm embarrassed to say that it didn't happen sooner. It really kind of was all about me at first. Another mistake I made, and it was about my business and my money and my paycheck. And once that really shifted, that long-term perspective shifted as well. Because yes, I'm driven, and yes, I have goals for myself, but dang, how could I stop and be like, well, I'm an ambassador and I've been an ambassador since 2012, when I know that there's girls on my team that deserve to be ambassador, that need to be ambassadors so that they can go change more lives. There you go. And I'm done.
Yes. Okay. Well, it's really funny that you brought that up because I was going to ask you to talk about Costa Rica anyways. So that was perfect. And one of my girls, before you started getting into this, said, because you were saying like, you weren't going to be in this for the long haul and you were just going to come in and make your money. And she was saying like, that's why you are the perfect person to talk about this, because you were going to be that girl and then you stuck around.
Yeah. And that's what keeps me, you guys. I mean, this business is just so incredible. And when you watch people's lives change, when you watch them get it, I think, gosh, you know, this business and network marketing really in general, but I feel like especially within It Works, it is a personal development course with a compensation plan. Write that down and remember it. You are taking a personal development course every single day, and you're getting paid to get better. You're getting paid to help other people level up and be better. Tell me another freaking job where you get to do that and you get to make this kind of money. I'll wait, because you're not going to find it. You just won't. And if you're doing it right, you're going to be growing every day. You are going to learn lessons that most people, I always think, and I thank God this is in my phone, and I tell them all the time, thank you that I get to learn lessons at 32, 35, I'm 38 now, at 38, that I feel like I have friends that are 50 that don't know some of this stuff. And that's not a way to go, Ashley. That's because I have an opportunity and I have people pouring into me. You guys, I get paid $0 to talk to y'all. I just love Katie. I just love her. I really do. I'm not just a super kind person. If you haven't noticed, I'm not like super nice. I just love Katie. And I know she's taught me things over the years, and she has always been so encouraging to me. I'm gladly will pour back into her team and help however I can. Most people, you would have to take courses to sit and listen to somebody talk to you for an hour, and yet this company does it freely. And this company all of these leaders, we give of our time because we've been poured into, we want to pour back out. That is rare to find. That's another thing that keeps me in this business. So I think yes, and I think I'm done with that.
Oh my gosh. Well, it made me cry earlier, you guys. I was having like this frustrating moment. Ashley was like, anything for you, and I was like, for me? My gosh. So I just felt so special. Ashley, so when you were in Costa Rica, like, how did you feel when you were there? Because some people are so new that they don't even know what we're talking about when we say Costa Rica. But like, how did you feel just being there? Just knowing that like you started this thing to get in and make your money. Yeah. But then you were a top 20 income earner on this retreat. Like, how did you feel?
I felt so hot and humid. It was super humid there. There was that. I have a lot of hair, so stop. But if you're not talking about the physical aspect of it, I felt overwhelmed and humbled this many years later to be doing what I love and to still be included in that group. You always want to like chase and be better than you were, right? The year before. I mean, nobody wants to fall backwards. And so being in top 20 for 8 years in a row, that means a lot to me. That's special to me. That puts a pride inside my heart, knowing that my team continually, because I can't do it on my own, not at this point, right? Like that means my team continually is showing up. And so, and that means that they are growing and they're doing well because I am a reflection of what's going on my team. And so I was just so grateful. I mean, anytime you're around people that are making moves like that and making that kind of money, and that was making money moves. I should have just Cardi B'd that. And so just anytime you're around those kind of people and breathing that kind of air and being around and rubbing shoulders with and talking with people with ideas and movement and excitement, like, I mean, there's just nothing better. It's why I will always fight so hard to be every single time at those kind of retreats, whether it's top 20, top, whatever they do, I want to be at it because your business changes. We had this one talk with Pam, riding over on this little boat to go shopping and eat at this little restaurant that completely blew my mind and changed my business. And that would not have happened if I wasn't there. So there's those kinds of things that I'll always want to show up for. So yeah, that was amazing.
That's one thing that I keep telling my girls, like even with the summer camp and like people doing little get-togethers and whatever that you can do just because events are canceled. And that's one thing that I try to tell everybody is like, it's not even just the actual event, learning stuff and going to stuff. It's like all the outside talks where you have that moment, or that's what makes it like the best time ever, you know? So let's get into, I love all that stuff about Costa Rica. Like I'm blue, so that kind of thing. I'm like, I'm having FOMO, like just hearing you talk about it and going in the boats and going out to lunch and having breakfast with Mark. Like I need to be there.
That's fun. That's a lot of fun.
But let's get into the tough love because I will say that like one thing that I'm seeing, and obviously like you've been in this business for 9 years, I've been in this business for 7 years, we see things. And it's June. And even though the company's in momentum, I'm seeing a little dip. And I know that like we just got out of quarantine and people are like, oh my gosh, we want to be outside and around other humans. However, I think we need a swift kick in the booty. And there have even been girls tonight that said we need a swift kick in the booty because there's this train and I just don't want people to miss it.
Right. You know, and that would be exactly where I would start is, you don't want to get left behind in the middle of momentum. You just don't. And so 2 things came to mind. I said 2 and then like held up 17 fingers. I don't know exactly. There's like 17 things that come to mind. There's 2 things that come to mind right off the top of my head. Why do people let me out? I don't know why people let me on these Zooms. But the very first thing is that I have had to learn to work based on what I want and not how I feel. And for someone that is driven by emotion, obviously very passionate, very excited, and very all over the place, I have to rein that in constantly. I don't feel like it. I kind of just want to get in the bath and turn off my phone and not mess with anybody today. I get it. There are times whenever I know that I checked off my list, but I didn't give it 100%. Those days bother me. And so I have had to learn to work based on what I want and not how I feel. And that's something that a lot of people talk about. That's not a new statement to me by any means, but I was going to bed for a while feeling unsatisfied, feeling dissatisfied with my business, feeling like I didn't give enough. And not in that way where it was like I'm being too hard on myself, but like I wasn't being hard enough on myself during the day. So some of you need to really take a look at what you're going for and what you're doing, and decide, am I really putting in the work? Like if you're saying you want to be a diamond, and you're working on your business an hour a day, I'm sorry, I don't believe you. That's not diamond work. You're not acting like a diamond, and you're not going to be a diamond. You don't fall into diamond. Like it doesn't just, maybe a few people here and there have fallen into diamond, but I don't think that really happens, right? So if you want to be a diamond, if you want to be a double diamond, if you want to be a ruby, if you want to be an ambassador, like, are you acting like an ambassador? Are you putting in the work of a diamond? Are you showing up when everybody else has gone home? I think being a business owner has helped me with this because, I owned a store for 8 years and we were open from 10 to 6, but my hours were not just 10 to 6, right? I had to be up there at 8:30 to get everything ready for the day so that things looked good and were ready to go. I couldn't walk in at 10 o'clock and expect for people to think I was ready, right? I had to get in there early. And I may have locked the door to customers at 6 o'clock, but there was still reports to run. There was still back office stuff that I had to do. There was still cleanup that had to be done and organization and getting ready for the next day. And so even though you may be checking off a list, are you really doing diamond work? And that's what I would ask. I would have you write down to yourself, whatever rank you're going for, am I doing ruby work? Am I doing diamond work? Or am I going for diamond, but I'm doing the work of a distributor? And that's what I can't decide that for you. For me, I had to realize there was some areas I had to step up in. And it's almost like I went so far and worked so hard that I burned out. And so then I pulled back too much for a while, and I had to step up and again go, hey, this is not my actions are not lining up with my goals. I'm saying I want to be a black diamond. I'm saying I want to go diamond on my 2.0. I'm saying I want to go triple diamond on my 2.0. But am I acting like that? Do I have the team for that? Am I leading the team for that? Am I putting in that kind of work? And for most of us, I think we would say no. I think we would have to be honest with ourselves and say, I'm just not. And if you're someone that's like, well, Ashley, I'm working sun up to sundown and you're still not reaching your goals, that's when it's time to get with Katie. That's when it's time to get with me or get with your upline and say, something's not lining up. I'm working all day because I'm probably going to point you back to income producing activities. Yeah, you might be on your phone all day, but are you truly doing income producing activities all day, every day? So there's that. That's the first thing I thought of with the, are you doing what you want to do and what feels right, and what feels fun at the time? Or are you saying, I want this goal more than I want this night of Netflix? I mean, there's not that much to do right now, guys. And so that's one thing that I would say. And then the second thing that I would say right now that I think is kind of difficult, because I know this doesn't apply to everybody. So please hear me. You know your heart and you know where you're at. And that is just very simply, if you are not where you want to be, you have to change that. Period. End of story. If you are not signing up as many loyals as you want to sign up, then you have to get up more host to post. You have to talk to more people. You have to post more or post better or ask more people. If you are not signing up the number of distributors that you want to sign up, what kind of work are you really putting into that? Don't ask 12 people this month and then be mad when you sign up one distributor. You guys, I've only got, and hear me, I'm saying only. I only have signed 6 distributors this month, only 6. That bothers me, especially with the quick $24 promotion that went like that. I needed a few more hours. And so even with that, you guys, I'm sad about the fact that I'm only at 6 distributors. But to get those 6 distributors, I have easily sent information out to 90 to 100 people this month. So know that like your numbers and where you're at are a direct reflection of the work that you are putting in. And that's what I would ask you. And just, you've got to get really, really real with yourself. If you are not where you want to be, you have the tools to change it. You're choosing not to. And so that's, I think, probably the hardest thing to tell people, but Pam has said it to me, and she said it in love, and it made me mad even at first, because it was like, are you kidding me? I work so freaking hard. I've been in the top 20 every single year. You can't say that I don't work hard, blah, 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 right? I've been there. And like behind her back, I'm going, I cannot believe that woman thinks and it's okay and it's not gonna be like that. No. Okay. So I get it. And you might be feeling the exact same way. Like, you don't know my life. You don't know my story. You don't know the hardships I have. Here's the deal. I don't know them. And I'm not saying I don't care, but I don't care in regards to what that means for your goals. Because I have had homeless women that have used the public library as their computer to go diamond before. I have women that have 9 kids that are on their team, and they foster in and out. So sometimes they've got 13 kids that are double diamond and maintain and love being double diamond and work really hard for their team. It is about what you want. And some of y'all are so busy looking at like all the things that you don't have and all the reasons why somebody else has got it easier or better. Oh yeah, well, Ashley's husband is home with her. Oh, well, Ashley's got a hybrid homeschool and that is different. And Ashley lives in a house, and like Ashley, I don't know what you're saying, but Ashley's got a list that she figured out. Like whatever you're saying in your head, by the way, that's how you sound to me when you talk like that and give excuses. But when you're doing all of those things, you are completely taking yourself out of the game in a way that's just not fair to you. It's not fair to your goals. It's not fair to your team. It's not fair to your dreams. It's not fair to your family. And so that would be my little snap out of it message, is quit looking around at all the things you don't have. Realize truly that every single thing that you need to be successful in this business, you already possess it. You're just not freaking doing it. And if you'll start filling the blank in with, instead of saying, I can't, say, I'm choosing not to. That hurts, because I don't have time to work out. No, I choose to put my time elsewhere. I choose not to. I don't have time to sit on Zoom, and I don't have time to do a power hour. No, you're choosing to do something else with your time. That's a choice. Because I've been on Zooms where women are nursing. I've been on Zooms where it's off because their kids are watching Peppa Pig in the back. I hate that pig, the stupid pig. The cutest thing about it is a little British accent, but like that show drives me nuts, and I'm glad I'm out of that phase, by the way. It gets better for those of you that are in the Peppa Pig phase. I just want you to know that there is hope. It does get better. That so many women that just choose not to make that excuse. And, Katie, I think you were going to lead into this, and this is something you wanted to talk about, was like really growing your why. And I think the last 5 minutes, if you want to lead into that, you're more than welcome to, because I've got lots of thoughts on that.
Well, I think, I'm not claiming to be perfect. And I think when we have discussions like this, it's like, okay, yeah, I can relate to that. I've fallen into that trap. And we know that we go through things, and we go through the ups and downs so we can help our team when it happens to them. But
Yeah.
so many times I hear, and this isn't just to one person specifically, I heard this a lot this week, is that like, well, I just have so much going on with the kids, the house, the vacation, the full-time job, the schooling and all this stuff. And it's like, I just don't know where to fit it in. And I think people forget that when I started this business, I was a full-time bartender working anywhere between 40 to 50 hours a week, and I had a part-time job. So like I've been there and I get it. And when you said that like 1 hour a day is not diamond work, I can relate to that. I would take my dinner breaks at 10 p.m. on Sundays so I could get on the family call. So I wouldn't miss it because it wasn't a live, you guys. It was a call.
Yeah, you have to call in like on your phone, on your BlackBerry.
on your BlackBerry. And so I just want to talk about that because sometimes I hear these, I will just say it, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I sometimes hear these excuses and in my mind I'm like, it's clearly not as important to you if you can't fit more than 30 minutes in, you know? And so I just want to talk about like digging into the why.
No, and it's so good. And really there's a reason why we talk about your why so often. It's because when your why is big enough, there is nothing that will stand in your way. When your why is big enough, you can work a 16-hour shift and you still are so passionate and excited that you want to come home and work your business. Okay. When your why is big enough, when you need this, when you want this, for whatever reason. And here's the first thing I would tell you for people that are like, well, Ashley, I don't know what mine is. You guys, I've had to change mine so many times. I wanted $500. Then I wanted $2,000. Then I wanted to make 10 grand. My third month, I made 10 grand. Okay. I could have very easily just been like, well, this is awesome. And I'm all set. Right. Like then like in 7-8 months, I'm making 50, 60 grand. You guys, it was insane. You talk about your why, like when you just start for a little extra and then you can pay off your house with 2 commission checks. Like y'all, it was nuts. You talk about having to grow your brain and grow your mindset and grow your dreams. And that's where I feel like God shifted things. That's a sidebar. That's where God shifted things. I know where it had to become bigger than just me because I had reached a lot of my goals. And it had to become bigger than me. And so we talk a lot about like how your why has to make you cry. And that's just a rhymey, cheesy thing that we say because what we know is what we're saying is that deep down, if it's not one of those things that you cannot stop thinking about it, you know God placed that on your heart. You know God told you that you're supposed to open an orphanage in Africa. I have a girl on my team who's working toward that. You know that God told you that you're supposed to adopt 3 babies. You know that God promised you a baby and you're on your 7th round of IVF. Like, you know that the things that God has like put inside you are, when you know the things that God has put inside you are so life-changing, life-giving, and monumental, then there's not even a breath you can take where you would even have time to say, I don't have time. It's too difficult. I'm too distracted. Whatever it might be. Because I will be so honest with y'all because I feel like that's just where the zone we're in right now and where my heart is at. I do not remember most of my daughter's first year. I don't. And maybe it's because she was a second child. A lot of my friends try to give me grace and say, Ashley, nobody remembers what your second kid did. Because I remember every single detail about my first daughter. But my second daughter, I was going ambassador. She was 3 months old. 7 months later, I'm ambassador. Like we had her 1-year birthday party right after I'd gone in, the month after I went ambassador. And I don't remember her first steps. I don't remember her first word. I don't remember even taking the first little picture. I don't remember 95% of her first year. I could look at that and go, that is so sad. But you might think I'm crying because I'm saying I missed out on it. I'm tearing up because it was worth every single moment that I was a little bit not present on. I was there, but not there. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? When you're a mom, like you're in the room, but you're not there. Was worth every freaking moment because now I homeschool my daughters. I send them to a school that we could never afford if it weren't for this business. I am with those girls sun up to sundown. When all this COVID stuff hit, like there wasn't that same stress for me. My girls know what it means to work hard. They know that mommy works and mommy plays. They know that. They grew up watching that. They have a dad that got to pour into them in a way that my dad never got to pour into me. And it's not about the stuff. Forget the stuff. Like, yeah, we've got a beautiful house and they've got a great little room and all that stuff. Sure, that stuff's all fun. But y'all, more than anything, like I wanted a life for my girls that wasn't I'm going to just give you any worldly thing that you want. I want to buy you all the toys. I wanted to be able to give them time and to be able to give them experiences. And so if that meant that for that time in my daughter's life, that I had to not be as present as I wanted to be, so that now for years I talked, wow, look at this coming full circle. I talked at the beginning about how I did work in 2011 that was paying me in 2020. And I did work and I made sacrifices in 2011 that are paying me in 2020 in time, because I am with my girls all the freaking time, y'all, all the time. I'm with my girls, especially right now. And it's been so worth it. There is not one moment that I regret. There is not one phone call that I took. There is not one prayer that I missed or that I was distracted. There's not one thing that I freaking regret in that time, because it has paid me back a million times with my girls now. And so that is where you've got to get to that point. And I'm not saying it will happen overnight. I'm not saying that you're going to get off this Zoom and go, that was what I needed, and that's all I ever, like, you're going to need to keep pouring into yourself. This can't be the only thing you ever hear. But know that that thing that God gave you that you can't give up on, it has to be 10 times bigger than any excuse that you would ever give. It has to be. So sit down with your family, have the hard conversations with your family, have the hard conversations with your husband. God, I know I am working so much. I know this feels like a lot. Can you trust me? I know I'm on to something. Can you hang in there with me? I feel like I'm doing the right thing. Go sit, go be with your kids, go play a game with them, and then go be on your phone, and don't feel guilty about it, because you're not a stay-at-home mom. If you're in this business, you're a work-from-home mom. And so it's okay to work from your home. Let me be the first to tell you that, if no one's told you, that it is okay to be a mom who shows her kids that you can have it all. My girls, guess what? That's all they're ever going to know. You want that? Go get it. You want to do that? Go do it. I have it all. I have everything I've ever wanted in my life. I have an insane career, and I'm with my family. I have a beautiful marriage that I have fought very hard for and been through multiple years of counseling to keep. Okay, I'm a lot. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I'm a lot to handle. And so I have all of that. It's everything I've ever wanted in my whole life. Giving back more in a year than I ever even used to make in a year. I mean, giving back more in a month than I ever used to make in a year, you guys, that's insane. To be able to do that. And that came from saying, what I want in the future trumps and outweighs what I feel like doing right now. I don't feel like doing a power hour after this Zoom. I'm going to be real honest. I would love to go pull off my eyelashes and get in the bathtub and watch 3 episodes of The Office. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I'm just telling you, that's what I want to do. That's what I would like to do every single night. I mean, every night, that's what I would do, is watch Michael Scott. That's why I think I had so much trouble with all of the penis jokes. You know what I'm saying? Because all I could think was, that's what she said all night. And I would love to do that. But what I want is way bigger. And my girls' dreams, I'm sorry, the girls on my team, the ladies, not the girls, the ladies on my team, their dreams and what they want and what they need and what they're fighting for are way bigger. They're way bigger than what I feel like doing right now. And I know I'm passionate about this because I am so slick under my armpits right now. It's kind of unbelievable, but that's where I'm at, Katie. That's where we're at.
Oh, that's perfect. I think that's an absolutely perfect note to end on. I know that you've had
That's the perfect note to end on, Ashley. Your slick pits.
sweaty pits is the best thing to end on. But you guys, drop in the chat if that really spoke to you. I know, like, I saw some tears. I had to blow my nose. I won't even lie, but gosh, I wrote down, when you know that God gave you something in your heart, you can't give up on it, and what you want in the future is way bigger than how you feel right now. Like, oh my gosh, how many times have you wanted to just go in the bath and watch your show? And it's so true. But I just appreciate you just sharing your heart and just opening up to us. And I love that we can see that you have checked everything off your dream board, but now you get to dream even bigger and show your girls and everything like that. And I think that there are so many women on here tonight that needed to hear you say, it's okay to be on your phone, because so many times they hear that it's not okay.
Oh my gosh. No, well, here, okay, I'm sorry. And then we can quit. It's not okay to be dumb and be on your phone. If all you're doing is jacking around, you should feel guilty. I feel guilty whenever I'm jacking around and my daughter's trying to talk to me and I'm scrolling and like figuring out which Disney princess I am on BuzzFeed and taking that quiz. I get it. Okay, you should feel guilty about that a little bit. All right, that should be after the kids are in bed. I'll give you that. But y'all, when you are working and bettering your life for your family, why would you feel guilty? Do not let anybody, especially in it, because it's normally not the outside world, it's us, right? It's normally us that's like, I'm just here to tell you, and maybe and I'm not trying to give parenting advice, but the kids that I know whose mom sits over them all day and just tells them how amazing they are and sits in the floor, and the only thing is that kid in the center of the universe, those kids turn out weird. Like, don't be that mom. Like, let your kid live their life, okay, and do some other stuff. It doesn't have to be you all day, every day, just standing over them, telling them how amazing. Like, my girls know how to entertain themselves because they had a work from home mom, you know, and that's a good thing. They use their imagination. They keep themselves busy. I don't have them all over me all day, every day, because they know how to entertain themselves, because I didn't just sit them in the floor and like do nothing except stare at them all day long. Right. So there you go. There's my 2 cents on that. I probably have some people that are pissed at me for saying that, but I'm just telling you, I'm not saying I'm the world's best mom, but you don't want weird kids. And those are where the weird kids come from, or from weird.
I love the mom advice, because I actually feel terrible when my girls like say something about one of their kids. And I, from the bottom of my heart, want to be able to give advice. But since I'm not a mom yet, I can't. So any mom advice is greatly appreciated.
Well, that's going to be chapter 1 in my book, which is don't have weird kids that you just stare at all day.
Don't have weird kids.
It's going to be 1 chapter long. This is all I know. Just don't stare at your kids all day. That makes weird kids.
Oh my goodness. Well, I know that everybody is just like dying, having just so many aha moments. And gosh, I just appreciate you from the bottom of my heart pouring into us tonight. And I knew when we started the call, I'm like, the stars aligned and we got connected tonight for a reason, for every single word that everybody needed to hear. And I love you so much. I know you have a power hour after this, but I just want you to know how much I appreciate you.
You are really the best, Katie. I love you. I love your loyalty to this company and your passion and your excitement for it. You're amazing. And so anytime, thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. You guys, thank you so much. If you are on the Dream Team, stay on for our after chat.
Okay.
Bye, guys. Thank you.